Gotta get the chat up real quick. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. What's up, guys? How's it going? So I'm just setting up the chat right now. Okay. How big do we want this chat? That's good right there, I think. More or less. What's up, guys? How's it going? It's been a while. Man, it's been a while. Been busy. All right, can you guys hear me okay? I set up the mic here. I think the last time I did a live stream like this was, I don't even know how long ago. It's been a while. It's I think all my like live streaming energy kind of went into my other channel, I think, is what's been happening. But, you know, I just didn't have any plans. I had a video filmed for today already, and I was thinking, why not do a live stream? It's missed you guys. Really missed you guys. It's been a while. Good to see you all. What's up, Poppy? Speeches, Mina. I've seen a lot of familiar faces. Some of you guys I've seen in the Gen 180 chat. See you in the comments section. What's up, guys? How you been? Let's see here. You guys are already ready for me. I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late. I was in the middle of cleaning. I've been cleaning my apartment today. That's what I've been up to. I kind of do that in 2 stages on weekends. So I was just finishing that up before I got here. Oh, am I sweating? I'm a little shiny still because I was like running around, you know, like vacuuming, you know, Windexing everything. I think it's an American thing to say, Windexing, because, you know, I don't know if Windex is everywhere. You know, it's an American brand. I don't know if it's everywhere. Like even Verizon, like I have Verizon as my network for my phone. And I was telling some of my Irish friends about my phone, like Verizon, and they're like, what the crap is Verizon? They didn't know what Verizon was. And I have to remember, you know, who I'm speaking to, and you know what I mean? But yeah, what have you guys been up to? What's up? How you guys doing? So where are you guys from right now? Like, where are you watching me from? What country? What state? Where are you guys watching from? I'm on East Coast USA, specifically New Jersey, right there. I don't know where you guys are. Nice hoodie, thank you, appreciate that. I love this hoodie, Into the AM, it's one of my favorite brands. Scotland, Sweden, Toronto, got California, New Jersey, what's up, Maria? Another New Jersey, hey Shannon. Got Argentina, Illinois, Vietnam. Getting a lot of Vietnam followers recently, Vietnamese followers, that's awesome. Texas, okay, a lot of Vietnamese in Texas. I would say that from what I've seen, I think that California and Texas have the highest population of Vietnamese in the United States. Saudi Arabia, okay, respect, that's awesome. I've never been anywhere in the Middle East. I guess it's on my bucket list to travel to every continent. Making my way there. I'll get there eventually. Michigan, Malta, we've got California again. How am I doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I'm actually getting like better sleep recently, so I actually have energy right now. Normally I'm like hitting a wall. It's tough to film when you have a wall, you know what I mean? You gotta have like creative energy for that stuff. But I've been good, been really busy. Busy trying to balance work and, you know, also doing YouTube and trying to have a social life outside of that, which is pretty non-existent, but it's okay. Ellie, it's your birthday today? Happy birthday! That's awesome. What year are you turning? If you don't mind me asking. Have you been eating? I have, and I've been eating well, like really well. I've been eating 3 meals. How crazy is that? Like, I've never done that. Like, ever since I left and went to college, I've been a 2-meal guy. Like, 1 in the morning, 1 late at night, and that's it, and that's not healthy. Like, now I'm on top of it. Like, I get up in the morning, I start juicing. You know, I have this whole juicing regimen. Then I, you know, have a really big lunch. Like, my lunch is huge. That's like my main meal. Then I try to have like a smaller dinner, you know, to kind of like taper off at the end. 100K? Yeah, isn't that crazy? I'm hitting 100,000 subscribers. When did that happen? How did that happen? Blowing my mind. It happened so fast. Like a month ago I was at 70,000. Now I'm at like 97. Crazy. Thank you guys so much. I gotta like do something special for this. I gotta do something fun. You guys gotta give me some ideas here. Man, I've been so busy, it's hard to even keep up with that. But yeah, that's bizarre. That's bizarre. I just made a tweet. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Twitter, but I made a tweet being like, it's bizarre how I'm almost hitting 100K, and I think I said I don't feel like I deserve it, which I don't know if that's true. I think that there's a part of me that feels like I don't deserve, but like I think what it actually is the feeling. I'm trying to describe the feeling because it's a new feeling. I feel like it's happening too fast. Like I need time to process it. I think that's the feeling that I'm getting. Because that's just happening so fast. I can't keep up with it. Watch all the Luna videos to catch up. Luna, when are they gonna debut? I'm waiting. All right, they got like member coming out every month. I'm like, come on, Luna. Like I'm ready for this debut. Like my sweat. Thank you for the sweatshirt, Kyle. I love this sweatshirt. I gotta wear this more often. Let's see here. Dance cover to Momoland, Boom Boom. I really like that. They're like a promising group. I feel like they've got very, very good talent in that group. A lot of members, you know, so I'm not a huge fan of like a ton of members, but I'm not gonna like not watch a group because they have a lot of members. What do you have planned for today? So it's like, for me, it's 7 p.m. right now, so I'm winding down. I'm gonna do this stream, I'm gonna eat dinner right afterwards, and then I'm just gonna chill out and then get some good sleep tonight so I can hit work early tomorrow morning. But like in terms of the week, like I'll print out like a monthly calendar and then I'll schedule out all my videos and what I'm gonna do and how to film ahead just in case I'm busy one weekend. So that's like how I plan my filming schedule. It just happened to be here because I'm making mine for the month. You should dress up as the members too. I don't know if I could pull off K-pop threads. And those that clothing's expensive. Really is. There's a lot of designer brands I can't afford. What's for dinner? So I only make 2 meals for myself. It sounds funny to say. I only know how to make 2 meals. Well, I probably know how to make more than that, but I really only ever make 2 meals. For the past 6 years that I've been living by myself, 5 or 6 years, 6 years I've been living on my own. I've been making the same 2 meals for myself. Pretty pathetic. But I make a breakfast meal, like, you know, eggs, bacon, and toast, and some fruit and stuff like that, like a solid breakfast. And for dinner, typically, I'll make anything with chicken. And it's always in a frying pan. So everything I make is in a frying pan. Like if I were to give you a tour of my apartment right now, it would all make sense. But yeah. So I make a dinner with like chicken. So I'll make chicken and rice, or I'll make chicken with a salad or a big salad, or I'll make chicken with, you know, fill in the blank, some carb. But yeah, so that's been my typical thing. Flawless. What's your skincare routine? Oh man, my skincare routine. Thank you for the compliment. It's like a war I wage every single day against my skin to try to like figure it out. I have really problematic skin. I've got, you know, combination oily and dry. It doesn't make sense at all, but I have to deal with it. I feel like some of you guys know what I'm talking about. But if I didn't go crazy overboard with my skincare regimen, I would have like the worst acne ever, like I did in high school. Really bad acne. If I took you into a tour for the bathroom, you'd see like my crazy OCD regimen right in front of me. I should make a video about that. I just haven't had time. This is why you're so skinny. You eat a lot of chicken. I guess I do. I mean, it's healthy, but I think that's probably why. Plus, I mean, that's where my weight set point is. You know, it's kind of like my dad, just really fast metabolism. So even if you eat 5 meals a day, I'm not going to really gain weight, unfortunately. Well, if hearing Josh talk about his skin combo, I could talk all day about skincare, easily. I could talk for the next 5 hours just about skincare alone. Like, that's how much I know about it. Like a walking skincare encyclopedia. But I know that's not what we're trying to talk about for 5 hours. Luna has, 2 girls to go for Luna. Okay, so 2 months. Reveal 11th member today, and then reveal the final subunit this month, meaning the group will debut sometime during or before summer. I'm ready for that. 2-meal Josh with skincare. I should do an entire live stream just about that. I didn't know who would be even interested in that, you know? Because when you have like so limited free time and you already like take up this amount of time for YouTube, so you sacrifice your sleep, you sacrifice social life, you're sacrificing so much just to get out the videos that you're doing. It's tough to think of anything extra, you know, like extra skincare videos or extra apartment tour videos or vlogs. But I think I'm shifting. I really am shifting away from what I typically have done with only reactions, and I'm shifting more towards what do I feel like doing. But it's a balance, and everyone has to find that balance. Yeah, Luna is complicated. What's up, Kira? How's it going? Good to see you. 12 girls still seem a lot for me, like the Cosmic Girls has 13 members. It's a lot of members. It's like anxiety. As soon as I see it, I'm thinking, how in the world am I going to learn all their names? And I could, if I really got into them. Of course, I'll learn their names and I'll learn like their heights, weights, their favorite colors, their zodiac sign. Like I'll know all that stuff if I really get into a group. But it's a lot of work. I don't have a social life. Oh, okay. I don't feel as bad. Anyone else not have a social life? Feel really good if like you guys could also say that. Like today, I have a church here in New Jersey that I started going to that since I moved here, but I'm from Maryland, so I'll end up streaming online, like live. I'll watch the live stream of my church back at home, so I can just do it in my apartment. I don't have to leave. Like that's how antisocial I am. So I was streaming my sermon this morning, but I still have responsibilities at my own church, that I actually have to go do. So I'll show up at my church here in New Jersey only to do those things, and then I'll leave. Like I help out with the kindergarten daycare, so I'll go in there, and I love doing it. It's a lot of work, and I get exhausted when I leave because it's like 20 little kids running around. But it's so much fun. I feel like I'm learning so much just by hanging out with these little kids. Like I feel like there's a certain type of learning you can get from someone much older and wiser than you, but there's a completely different type of learning you can get from spending time with kids. It's a completely different thing. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway. Exciting. Cam, what's good? Man, I'm seeing so many familiar faces. How you guys doing? How you doing? I watch the live stream from my church when I can't go. All right, I'm not the only one. Sometimes I do that. Are you like a CC teacher, or you just watch them? I'm kind of like a teacher slash just watching over. I'm making sure they don't kill themselves. There's like a lesson plan and stuff. Just dropped in to say hi. Consider I need to write an interpretive essay due tomorrow. Facepalm. Dang, I do not miss that at all. Stay strong. People don't realize that anyone who gets into Luna, it's easy for me to familiarize myself with the members. I believe it. It was such a big help in learning the members. That's a big thing nowadays, groups having reality shows. It's such a great marketing strategy. I think that's why most of them do it. Like I keep getting notifications from Blackpink's channel for their, what's it called, Blackpink TV or something. Really smart. It's all marketing. Really, because I take care of after school kids in first grade. Drained. I get so drained. But I feel like I'm getting better at it, Like before I would just show up and if they were like, a kid was like, oh, he took my toy, I would be like, well, then take it back. And he'd look at me like, what? I was like, you got to take what's yours, kid. If you're not strong enough, then it's not your toy. Like, that used to be my approach to things. Now I'm a little bit better. Now I'm like, all right, guys, we got to learn how to share and blah, blah, blah. But I'm still learning. I demand your cosmic sweater. So it's into the AM. Here, I'll type it out here. That's the brand name of this sweater. I feel like just telling you guys, because I got this for free along with some other Into the AM stuff just to wear it in my streams and let people know about it. But I love it. Awesome clothing. My sister wedding tomorrow. You have a sister getting married tomorrow? That's awesome. I was actually the best man in my sister's wedding. It was a really big deal for me. It's a great time. By the way, if you move back to Maryland, are you still going to KCON? Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I am planning on, if I can, Lord willing, I'll go back to Maryland, be closer to family and friends. But I know that KCON is in New Jersey, so I definitely will drive up for that. Thank you. What are you going to wear the shirt that I gave? I've worn it a couple of times. But it's winter, so you won't know I'm wearing it because it'll be underneath something. Josh, come back to the DMV. DMV? Oh, because Department of Motor Vehicle. Because you're over in Virginia, right, CD? I think you are. How's it going, CD? By the way, hey. You just pop in. You just make a comment. I'm like, yo, CD's here. Name the price to get Luna dedicated stream. Name the price? I mean, I'll do that if I had. I do so many of those things if I had the time. It's not really a matter of money as much as it is time, unfortunately. DC, Maryland, Virginia. Oh, gotcha. That makes more sense than what I said earlier. Are you going to Super Junior in New York in April? Probably not. Whoops, sorry, I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Just because I've decided that with like the lack of time that I have to pick and choose the types of concerts I can go to. And I like Super Junior a lot, and that might be one of their last tours, but they've never been like my absolute top bias groups. You know, like I went and saw Epic High in New York, and I saw Big Bang, GD, in New York, you know, because it's like in my top. But even if they were to go back and like Epic High and Big Bang were to have like another tour, I might not go because I've already seen them, and I don't know. It depends. It really does depend. It's just time is so limited, unfortunately. Sucks adulting. How goes engineering? Speaking of adulting, engineering's all right. It's going good. It's solid. There's a lot of stress right now, probably more stress than usual. When I was hired into the company, they put me into a leadership development program with about 40 other engineers. Massive company. It was a really big deal. This development program is a big deal. So we've been giving a really big project, a serious project. For about a year, we've been working on this, and it's all coming down. It's due at the end of the month. So at the end of the month, we're giving our big presentation, and there's been so much stress. It's a massive project. So that's also another reason why I've been streaming a lot, because I've been just focusing on work. It's been draining. Then I just try to put out videos at some type of consistent frequency. Popping in to say, hey, what's up, K-pop lover 2015? It's wild because someone was asking me the other day how long I've been watching K-pop, and so like how long I've been familiar with K-pop, and it's been since 2011, like sophomore year of college is when John Vu came into my life and introduced me to K-pop. So it's been 7 years? That's crazy. 7 years. You're a programmer? No, actually, I'm a process engineer. Here, let me type it out here. Process engineer. So I'm a process engineer. I work for a manufacturing company, and on the manufacturing lines, I have to analyze them, make them more efficient, reorganize workflow, just make it the most efficient process possible, and put out products that are high quality, low cost. You know what I mean? Like save the company as much money as possible. It's like a process engineer is also, you could call him an efficiency engineer. So be as efficient as possible. But yeah, that's simplifying it, obviously, but there's whole lot more to it, but there's no point in getting into it, I don't think. I hope to be listening to K-pop for another decade, if not the rest of my life. I hope so too. I don't think I'll ever stop. I just think it'll wane off into like a smaller amount, you know, as I get older, because I don't know if I can picture myself 50 years old, like jamming to bubble pop. You know what I mean? Like your tastes will change. And bubble pop might not even be a thing anymore. Like decades from now, you listen to music 20 years ago, you can hardly you know right away it's old music. You know what I mean? Like music changes so fast. None of what we're listening to now will even sound the same 10 years from now. That's what's crazy. You just gotta enjoy what's happening now. Where are you from? I'm from Maryland, East Coast, USA, so right there. That's where I'm from, born and raised. I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. And eventually I went to Penn State University over in Pennsylvania, USA. And then I went over and I got a job after college. After I graduated, I got a job at a company over in New Jersey. Yo, what's up, Joy? That's my sister. Guys, this is my sister. You need to go check out her channel. She's a YouTuber as well. She has a photography channel talking about wedding photography. What's up, Joy? It's been a while. Your job seems so stressful, and the type of job you don't want to drop the ball where you're telling them. Exactly. It is kind of, yes and no, but yeah, it's a pretty stressful job. I mean, especially my particular role at this company. I really do enjoy it. I'm very grateful for my role. But yes, it's very challenging, which can be a good thing. You don't want to get bored. For sure. Completely agree. How old are you? Can I keep that a secret? I feel like I'm getting so old so fast. The years keep happening. Like I'll just stop and be like, holy cow, I'm that old. It's wild. So I graduated college like 2 years ago. So I was 23 when I graduated. Now I'm 25. Isn't that crazy? Like sometimes I'll just be like sipping tea and I'll just like look off into the distance and be like, whoa, I'm 25. Like I'm an adult. I don't feel like I'm 25. Isn't that crazy? Man. I would have thought I'd be married by now, to be completely honest. Like, I would have thought I already have kids. Like, I thought I would probably, meet someone in college, probably get married right after college, have kids within the first few years. And yeah, but that didn't happen. So now I'm just like a single 25-year-old K-popper living in New Jersey. But yeah. Yeah, way to expose my age, people. Like, I told you guys anyway, but come on, guys. Let's reel it back. Oh, man. Still young, chill. I mean, that's true. Like, the average age for, the United States keeps, like, changing, and the life expectancy changes per country. I think for the U.S. right now, it's like 87, 88, which is pretty good life expectancy. And that factors in all the people that, die young. But, think about it. By the time I get to 80, that's like 50 years from now. The medical advancements alone, even if we're still around, if we haven't gotten nuked by then, the medical advancements, you'll probably live to be 150 easy. It's crazy. It's great age regeneration, at least age slowing processes. Like, don't listen to anything, skincare wise being like age reversal. There's no age reversal. The closest thing you'll get is maybe some chemical serums, like salicylic acid, glycolic acid, different purposes, obviously. Like salicylic acid gel peels are more for acne, to clear the pore. Then glycolic acid's more for fine lines and wrinkles. But retina, that's pretty good. But one thing I would say is that there are other ways to slow the aging process, at least the physical aging process, that people don't really talk about as much. Like there's skincare stuff. Like you should take care of your skin, you should eat well, you should get good sleep. But I think the number one thing, if I could sum everything up, like the most important thing to slowing your aging process is to reduce stress in your life. And there's a lot of ways to do that. Some interesting ways. What's an example? So we're constantly regenerating skin cells, for example. Like you're shedding them all the time on the micro level. You don't see it happening, it just happens. And you're regenerating them, and you keep regenerating, and that's how your nails grow, your hair grows, your skin grows. And your chromosomes, they have to split. They have to keep on splitting. So you've got a chromosome, it splits, it makes 2. Those split and make 4. This is happening millions of times, a second. We have billions of these chromosomes. But here's the thing. When the chromosomes split enough times, the caps on the ends of the chromosomes start wearing down. And that's what's actually responsible for aging. When they split enough times, they have these caps on the end that keep them new. They start wearing down, almost like the plastic casing on the end of a shoelace. And so they wear down, and then when they come off, those plastic casings just fray off. The cell dies, and that's how aging happens. But they've done a lot of research into how to slow down the chromosome from dying. And they found out that the most effective way that you can slow down your chromosome dying process is, water's a really good reason. Water's a really great thing. Like you really can never have enough water. Well, you can, but you're not in danger of that. Just drink more water, people. But the most important way to keep the caps of your chromosomes from coming off, there they are. How do you say it? Telomeres? Yeah, those are the caps on the ends of the chromosomes. When those come off, your cell dies, and that's how you age. Stress is the number one thing that causes these caps to get, frayed and then fall off, and you to age quicker. And they found that there's a secret. There's like a way that you can trick your brain into not processing things as stress. And the way you do that is by viewing it as a challenge. So what's something stressful that could happen in your life? Like maybe you lose your job, you get laid off. It wasn't even your fault, you just get laid off. Instead of being like, oh, this is terrible, how am I gonna survive, blah, blah, blah. If you were able to look at it like a challenge, you don't get stress from that. You don't produce these negative stress-inducing hormones like testosterone and cortisol. Those completely speed up the aging process. But if you're able to look at it like a challenge and be like, holy cow, I never even liked that job. I can go, this is an opportunity to get an even better job, make more money, get more of what I want in life. That completely tricks your brain. You don't view it as a stressful situation, you don't age. So it's a tough thing to do, but if you're able to do it over time, you can learn the way to handle it. So changing it's a way that you change your perception. So you're not looking at things as stressful, you're looking at things as challenges. So I've been trying to like look at things more like that, and I've been so much happier since I've done that. And it's not easy. It's always going to be difficult, but I would just want to let you guys know that because it's really interesting how science is advancing. So I'm just trying to share the knowledge. Anyway, what are you guys talking about? I missed some of these comments. I'm trying to keep up with all this new knowledge, and I'm just very confused. Sorry, I'm going fast. I've got a lot of like thoughts in my head and not enough people to talk to, so like you guys are getting it all like fire hose style. I'm sorry. Josh, how come Joy is the only one who ever joins the chat? What do you mean? Is it like, aren't you all guys here? Like, I don't, or do you mean like she's always here consistently? Confused. Oh gosh, never thought about it that way. I'll give it a try. It's an interesting way to look at it. I would recommend it. So what are you guys up to? What's going on in your life? What's stressing you guys out? What are you worried about right now? Is it work? Is it school? Is it your family life? Is it you're just maybe not happy right now? There's a lot of people that have, like, we're the generation that are going to be known for two things. Our generation, we're going to be known for being depressed and memes. Memes and depression. Media, like, mental health. People need to start talking about that more. Do you intend to come to Vietnam? I'd love to. That's on my bucket list. Like, I want to go on a full-on Asian tour, though. Chicago. What is that, the Windy City? No, I think it is. Like, it's pretty windy. Yeah, I'd love to go there. College application. That's something to be stressed about. I keep spending too much money. I feel you. I understand that. We're kindred spirits. Can you sing some? Wait, I missed it. These chats are going so fast. I'm sorry, I gotta try to keep up. Too many readings that I have to do in not enough time. It sounds stressful. I hate reading. My last class in university, I just want to end it so badly. Boy, getting that senioritis, college in general. I hated college. Hated it. It was terrible. I was a terrible student. I had such bad focusing problems. You know, I just honestly feel like it's so anti-me to go into engineering. Like, yeah, I think logically and that stuff makes sense to me, but it was way too difficult for me. Like, I didn't get the best grades in college. I passed, but it was very difficult. It was like a struggle every single day. Damn, Josh, you dark. I'm sorry. But yeah, there is a lot of, lack of motivation. That's a biggie. I've had that recently. I understand that. Try to drink water, but it's tough. Only drink one or two is the problem. Sorry I'm missing so many of these comments. Honestly, at this point, I'm just trying to doing it to please my parents. Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's mostly why I went to college, I think. There's an expectation there, you know, and also you're thinking this is just the next step for me, I guess, because all my friends are going to college, and if I want a good job to make good money to support myself and a family one day, like, I gotta go to college and get a degree. It just makes sense. It's the next thing, you know. I understand that. Work is just starting. I'm just not doing enough. Man, there's always challenges there with that. That makes sense. Do you have a girlfriend? No, I don't. Welcome to Vietnam. Thank you, I guess. I don't know why, but college was good for me. Now university, it's killing me. So like, did it just get harder, or what? What's the difference between college and university? I thought those were the same thing. So like, undergrad versus grad school. I welcome Vietnam, LOL. Been trying as a little kid to impress my dad. I get that. Junior high school SATs, ACTs coming up, trying to figure out where I want to go to college. That's the thing. It's definitely a thing. I was mad stressed going to college, you know, and making those applications, not really knowing what I even want to do. Not really, though. Like, I'll say it this way. Ever since I was little, I knew I was going to go, and I just assumed I would go and study engineering. Like, that was just, I don't know why. It was just what I was going to do. It made sense to me. It's what my dad did, so I was thinking, why not just do the same thing my dad did? It worked out for him. I never really considered if I wanted to do it. Does that sound funny? Like, I never considered if I actually wanted to go and become an engineer. Buy yourself something nice. Thank you, Gabriel. Appreciate that. Yo, I didn't even expect to get a super chat. Josh, can you tell Joy I love her so much? I shall. She'll probably see it if she's watching right now. Kitty Kid vlogging. Whatever happens to the girl you were crushing on last. Just curious. Well, Maria, I'm not sure who you're referring to. Who are you talking about? I've had, different people in my life over the past few years that I've been interested in you. I'm trying to think. You could be talking about one of two people, I feel like. Well, in college, at the end of it, my junior and senior year, I met this girl actually online. I met a girl online. I actually went online dating. Can you believe that? And it was because I never thought in a million years I would do that. But I did that because I wanted to meet someone who was serious about their faith, and it was difficult to find someone like that in my immediate friend circle. I didn't have a lot of Christian friends. So I couldn't meet any Christian girls. It was difficult to meet Christian girls. So that's why I went on a Christian site, because I was thinking, it's going to be all Christian girls. So I met this one girl, and we started talking for a while. Then we started dating after a few months, and then we ended up dating for 2.5 years. And yeah, long story short, it didn't work out. And I don't know if I want to go into it or not, but it didn't work out. It's over. She's actually here in New Jersey. Isn't that bizarre that I would get a job 5 minutes from her? Isn't that crazy? And now we go to the same church. It just happened to work out that way. So that's awkward city. But she's engaged now, so happy for her. But yeah, so after that, there was this one girl I met here in New Jersey who I thought was pretty cool. And we went on a date or two. But that didn't work out either. And that's this whole other story. Then I was talking to this one girl, just randomly met her, very randomly, because we had a friend in common. She was living in another country. She's from Brazil. And, we talked for a few months. And I actually ended things because, I guess long story short, I felt that there were going to be some issues that were going to become bigger things as time went on. Like small little things you notice early, like little red flags, but I don't know how to describe it. I could really go into it more with you guys, give it more detail. I don't really think about it a whole lot anymore. I try to take what I can and learn from experiences, but it was a tough thing to break up because nothing went wrong. That was really the only person I've ever ended something with and things didn't go wrong. But I've had enough relationships and years of experience to know that to really be able to understand when something might not be the best idea. But it was sad, because we really did get along, and I liked her a lot, and we were very compatible. But there were some reasons as to why I felt that it wouldn't be good to continue that. But since then, I haven't seen or talked to or been interested in really anyone. Or really, I should say I haven't pursued anyone. I've been single for a while. I feel like I've been single too long. I don't like being single. I mean, there's pros and cons of being single versus not being single, but I'd prefer to be in a relationship, Obviously the right relationship. You don't want to be in the wrong one. I'd rather be single than be in the wrong relationship, but there's times when I'm thinking why can't I just meet the person I'm gonna marry already? Why can't I just why can't that person come into my life? I don't know. So you can get a little frustrated, but there's a time for everything and there's a reason for everything, and I'm just trying to trust God and follow His plan. And right now I'm single, so I'm just trying to be faithful and diligent in my singleness. Super lucky. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a while since I saw you. What's up, Carolina? You're the only Christian K-pop fan I know. I think I am the only Christian K-pop fan I know. I don't know of any other Christian K-pop fans. I have to think about that. Yeah, I'd have to think about it a little more, but there probably are other K-pop fans who are Christian, like K-pop YouTuber reactors who are Christian is what I'm thinking. There are plenty of K-pop fans who are Christian. I want to date too. I think if we're all honest, we would rather be in a relationship. I mean, who doesn't like want to get swept off their feet tomorrow by the person of their dreams? I mean, like, it's weird for me to say as a guy, like, I want some girl to sweep me off my feet. That's a little odd, but but heck, I mean, if she's the girl for me, go ahead. I'm a Christian K-pop fan. What's up, Chromium? Christian K-pop fan. Did he say? We got Naomi. Shout out to the Jesus freaks. My president is Korean. We were talking about it sometimes. We have fun. It's always a reason for everything. I do believe that, 100%. She was just not the one for you. The right one will come up soon. You know what's interesting is, and this is the last thing I'll say about that thing because I don't know how appropriate it is to talk about, relationships I've had with other people. Just for the sake of them, they might not want to have it shared. But the one thing I noticed in the most recent one was we were very similar, almost too similar. And I never in a million years earlier on in my life, I never would have thought I could ever find someone who's too similar to me. Because I would have thought that'd just be a good thing. It'd be like a female version of myself and we'd be perfect for each other. But I'm starting to notice, and I never would have guessed this before, but I'm starting to notice that opposites are sometimes a more effective couple than someone who just found someone exactly like them. I think that there's a spectrum, and I'm starting to see the value and importance of having a variety of people and a variety of thought. I'll give you some examples. Like, I was raised Republican. I was raised in a Republican household. And ever since I left college, all my friends have been Democrat. And I've met a lot of Democrat liberal people. And I would say that I've learned what their opinions are, their point of view, the reasons, and I've come to really respect a lot of the different opinions that Democrats have. And I've started to think about what the country would be like if it was only run by Democrats or only run by conservatives or Republicans. And it'd be bad either way if it was run purely by Republicans or run purely by Democrats. I think that it wouldn't work. I think what's good is for there to be a balance, for there to be some that are Democrats, some that are Republicans, and there to constantly be, a working together, to figure that out. Another example are my parents, the parents who raised me, my mom and dad. They couldn't be more different. They're so different. My dad is like very black and white, very analytical, very logical thinker, very, very strict and structured and disciplined. That's my father. My mom is she's a feeler. She's a nurturer. She's, for all you personality type people, she's like a INFP and my dad's an ISTJ. So they're opposites. He's the thinker, she's the feeler. And they're so different, but they have such a healthy, wonderful, godly marriage. Very strong, admirable marriage. And the way they raised me, I think, was really good in that I was able to benefit from both of those parenting styles, of a nurturing one and a structured one. So now, me personally, I feel like I'm able to have emotional intelligence from my mom, and then more analytical, logical thinking from my dad. And I've seen a lot of value in that. And I wouldn't want to miss that for anything. I wouldn't want to replace that from anything. If I had two very similar parents who were exactly like my dad, two very structured, logical, whatever, I feel like that'd be too much. It'd be too much structure. It'd be too, it might have had a reverse effect on me. I don't know. Maybe I would have gone and done drugs or something. I don't know. I can't say, it's a hindsight's 2020. But I have seen a lot of value in a balance of opposites. A balance of opposites is what I'm trying to say. A feeler versus a thinker, a Republican and a Democrat. I'm seeing there's a value in a balance. And so I'd love to meet someone who's able to complement the things that I'm maybe not as developed in, and I'm able to do that for them, if that makes sense. I'm sorry I'm missing so many comments. You guys got me on a rant. You guys must have asked good questions. What's up? I see a lot of Vietnamese people. This is great. Must be the V-pop videos I've been watching recently. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Missed about 2 minutes to stream because my sister called and asked if we wanted coffee. Well, I just burped a little bit. That's why I stopped talking. We're just going through comments right now. You didn't miss much. Great parents. You're a lucky one. Thank you. I am very blessed. I love my parents. His voice is very smoothing. I'm just listening to him as I do stuff around the room. Thank you. Appreciate that. Lane Angel 204. Appreciate that. If I'm your charm, you can understand each other. I actually took that personality test after you talked about it in the last stream. I'm an ENFP. That's the second most common, I feel like. ENFP and INFP are the most common personality type of K-pop fans, I noticed. Because I started asking you guys, and I was running a little test in my mind. I wanted to see what you guys were. And it turns out most of you all are feelers. Most of you all are NFPs. So intuition seeking, feeling. And what's P? Perceiving versus judging. And so I thought that was interesting. So it's like, it would make sense. You know, people that are really into music, the arts, they're going to be more feelers, more empath. But yeah. So I'm an ISTJ. Write that there. That's what I am. ISTJ. My parents are exactly the same, haha, completely different from each other, but worked well. Yeah, right? That's awesome, Cam. Really handsome. Wow, thank you, appreciate it. You like a melting pot with balances. Yes, I do. Quality rants, I hope so. Josh, it's been a while. What's up, Joshua Jones? I love that name, Joshua Jones. There's a guy with a soothing voice. You need to start like a podcast, bro. Joshua Jones, he's got that unique radio voice, you know, that voice you could just listen to while you're driving your morning commute. Be in the future. Good story, Josh Meyer, thank you. It's a good couple and your parents, they need each other. To find someone to keep for a lifetime long relationship, each other should dare to stand by in their weak and tough times as possible. You have confidence to pop the question. Hope to meet someone like that one day. That sure be great. Josh should run for president. If I told you guys my political opinions, I don't know how many of you would want me to run for president. To be honest, I don't know. I really have changed though since I left my house. You know, I was really extreme on one side, and then I started really getting exposed to the other side. Now I feel like I'm a little more in the middle there, but I lean a little more a certain way. But I feel like there's no right answer, I feel like, for a lot of these tougher questions in life. There's no right answer. And I feel like it's a good thing when you have a country that democratically, or a democracy that elects, you know, whatever the majority wants. Like with Obama, he was a Democrat. With Trump, he's a Republican. It kind of shifts, you know, it shifts back and forth. If you look at the last 40 presidents and you start seeing how it shifts, it's like Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Democrat, Republican, and it switches back and forth. But it's interesting because if you study it, it was usually when a Republican was president, it was when the country leaned a little more right, and when a Democrat was president, it was the country leaned a little more left. It's like the president is elected by whatever the country's current needs are and however the people are feeling. And it might not be a good thing to have one person there forever. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, you know, the country changes and it needs someone different to lead in that change. Even if someone's elected that I don't like, that I really don't like at all, it could be what the country needs at that moment. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but I'm trying to describe something I've noticed a little, like a deeper philosophical truth that I feel like I'm starting to understand a little better. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. Almost to 100,000 subs. Yeah, isn't that bizarre? Man, I'm so excited. I think this upcoming weekend, I'm gonna go back home to like have a party, a little celebration with my family. Notice me. What's up, awkward cringe? Awkward cringe. You should have like a picture here. Take a screenshot of me going, and that should be like the freeze frame for your profile as awkward cringe. Just sent you a super chat. Yo, what's up? Thanks, Poppy. I missed that, sorry. Here, oh, yeah, you did. Can you read my comment from before, right girl for you? What comment was that? I don't know what that was. I'm kind of confused. Sorry I missed your comment, Poppy. Sent a comment worth reading. Scroll up. It's gonna keep happening. All right, scroll up a little further. All right, scroll up a little further. Me. Wait. I'm confused. Got a special girl lined up for you to marry and spend the rest of your life. Would you have to wait for the person? Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. Trump didn't get the popular vote, though. Yeah, I don't think he got popular vote for majority because the Electoral College, I guess there's... it's confusing. I don't fully understand how it works. But yeah, you cannot have the majority vote, but you can win in the most states, if that makes sense. Like, you can win the majority vote for states, but you might have lost the overall number of votes. Love your channel. Thank you, Mia. Do a dance cover. I'm terrible at dance covers. I'll cringe at that. You don't want to see me with a dance cover. That is why the Electoral College is dumb in my mind. Well, you say that, but I think that if who you wanted to be president was elected and they didn't get the majority vote, like if the situation was reversed, I don't think you would be saying the same thing. I'm not trying to attack anyone. I'm saying that it's something I've noticed. It's like back when Obama was president, there were all these talks of, oh, these things were wrong about the way he got elected. We need to put that away. It's the old school system. It's whenever someone doesn't get their way, they want to like find something wrong with the way the person got elected and then change it. But the Electoral College, I mean, that's been around forever. That's been a thing for the past how many presidents. I think it might be smarter and more effective to instead say, let's get rid of this system that could benefit either or, and say, why don't we try to have discussion and intellectual thought and try to change the people's minds, change the people themselves. That's the big thing I feel like that's missing these days with politics. Not to get into politics too much, that's not what this channel's about, but to say one thing is that I don't see discussion anymore. It's sad. I had such great discussion in college when I met all these people who thought differently than me. I had so many late nights with people from other countries just learning about the way their government works and learning about their opinions on our country and people who live here and white people like me who had complete opposite thoughts to me. Not even people from other countries, and just hearing their opinions on why they think this is the way it is and why this law should change. I feel like I had so many great conversations, but nowadays it's just politicians attacking other politicians. It's like who can smear the other the worst and who can say the worst things about the other person. It's just gone really downhill. It's like it's gotten acidic. It's like there's no more debate. It's more attacks. It's just attacks. Like ranting. There's plenty of rant channels. If you want to find a rant channel, it won't be too hard. Just go and Google I hate Trump and you'll see all these channels come up and going on rants. But rants are just viral negativity. I think it'd be more productive to talk about real debate, real conversation. Interesting. It's the more difficult thing for sure. How does elections work in Korea? Good question. I'm not sure. Korea, the election when President got elected seemed rigged. I'm sure there's crazy things going on all over the world. It is good to see things from different sides. I like to consider myself moderate to see things from different point of views. I'd like to consider myself that. I think I lean more right, but I'd like to think so. Politicians yell at each other. The Electoral College is a strange idea. It should just be whoever gets the most votes. Very straightforward. It's not the right worth more than other states. Well, that's just it. It's not right that some states are worth more than other states. Well, you just said two different things. Not to try to attack anyone, but when you say that, it should be whoever has the most votes, there are some states that have, let's say for just an example, 1 million people, and there's another state that has 20 million people. So which state should be more? Which state should, probably the one with more people. Like if you win that state, it should be worth 20 times more than the one with only 1 million people. So the states are not equal in terms of the number of people in them. Because what if you had like a little state like like Rhode Island, very small. I don't know what the population is, but should they get more? Should they get just the same amount of votes as a giant state like California, who has maybe 20 times as many people as Rhode Island? So it's interesting. There's always another side to the coin to any argument. There's another side to everything. So deep. Politics has just become attacking people and their character. Yeah, it's tough. It's really difficult. The way computers counted votes, there was a video on it. I mean, even, the actual computers that record votes in the voting booths, they're not secure at all. And I'm not just some conspiracy theorist. Like, I actually knew someone who worked for Google, and he was tasked by the U.S. government to look into the security of these voting booths. He was part of a team, and they went and they started analyzing the security of the infrastructure, the hardware, especially the software, like the firewalls that are keeping voter fraud from happening. And they found it was terrible. They were like, anyone with a MacBook could crack these things and have voter fraud. And they told the US government that, and they're working for Google. They said, we found all these holes in your security system. And they didn't do anything. They did nothing. I don't even know if I should tell you guys this. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you guys this. I don't know if the FBI is going to come in and say, we need to talk to you about national security, son. You shouldn't know these things. I don't know. All I know is that I think they were just trying to do their due diligence and say, we got Google to test the security of these voting booths, but they didn't tell them that they found all these holes and they did nothing about it. Isn't that interesting? It's crazy. Like, people keep talking about Russia. What does Russia have to do with anything? The security of the voting booths here in this country are just crap. And either side could take advantage of that, Republican or Democrat. And the next day, Josh is taken away by the government. It could happen. It could happen. But yeah, it's really interesting. So Russians really did hack us. I have no idea. People have been saying that about Trump ever since he got elected. That, it was just Russia that got him the election. They've looked into it. People much smarter than me have spent millions of dollars, millions, more than I'll ever make in my life, just looking into whether there are any connections with Russia and Trump. And so far there are zero, after a year of doing that. But they haven't stopped. The next day, Josh's memory is wiped clean. It's just like people who are like, oh, Obama's not a U.S. citizen. He's not a U.S. citizen and he shouldn't be president. And I don't know, it's just, there's these crazy accusations of any president. I don't know. It's interesting. It's really interesting. At the end of the day, we're all just people, and we're all trying to do the same thing. We're just trying to live a life. Whether you're male, female, Republican, Democrat, young or old, rich or poor, we're all in it for the same reason. We're all trying to get the same thing. We're all just trying to find happiness, honestly. Like, we're all just trying to do the best we can, screw up as little as possible, try to, obtain or reach our goals in life. People are great, aren't they? I think humans are. Humans are fascinating. They never cease to amaze. Alien or cat, we're all the same. What if you agree with Josh? Who knows who the next president may be? Kanye West. It's hilarious. That might happen, guys. It really will. I mean, for example, when Trump got elected, people were like, oh, that's ridiculous that someone with no government experience at all, some TV celebrity, can become president. Like, I'm totally against that. That should never happen. We need people with experience. And that was this big argument for a while. And I had to agree with that a little bit. I was like, you know what? They've got a good point. They've got a really good point. Like, we should probably have someone with more government experience running the world or running the U.S. And then all of a sudden, I start seeing this trending on Twitter that they want Oprah to be president. Like, the same people I saw mad at Trump for not having experience now want Oprah to be president. Like, what? What? Oprah? So, nowadays we go to a voting booth, we fill out a card, we go in and we punch it in on the touch screen and then we leave. That's how we used to vote. In the future, we're going to vote by swiping the barcode on the back of our Mountain Dew uploaded to some cloud. That's how we're going to vote for Kanye. And it'll happen. I'm sure it'll happen. Do Valentine's stream for a single. Can we skip Valentine's Day this year? Like, it just makes single people feel bad, and it makes people that are in a relationship just spend too much money. Like, I've been through Valentine's Days with a person, and I've been through Valentine's Days without. And it's miserable either way. Probably because I wasn't with the right person. But let's just skip it. Yeah, if you want, we can do a Valentine's Day stream. When is Valentine's Day? Let me look this up. Valentine's Day it's February 20th something, right? February 20th something? Well, when? February 14th. Okay, so it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday, February 14th, middle of the week. Yeah, we should let's stay up late. Let's watch some K-dramas, some anime. Let's eat some cookie dough, put on mud masks, talk about life and how single we are. Let's do that. I'll schedule it in advance. But it's only for single people. Only for single people. JK, if someone wants to come in and they're in a relationship, that's fine. Spread love on Valentine's Day. This day's my cat. Hey, I understand that. Skip Valentine's Day. Oprah would be like, you go to college and you go to college, everybody goes to college. That's funny. It's kind of like Bernie Sanders, all voting for Josh as president, like the video. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, the Oprah thing is insane. Do you think the U.S. people are really divided as left and right, or is it just represented this way by the internet and how being conservative in this political environment? I think it's both, to be honest. And I hate to I hate to do it. It's such a compromise just to say, oh, it's both. It's an easy thing to say, but I truly believe it's both because I've seen evidence of it. I've seen how polarizing the media is, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason because it sells. It sells. Can you imagine an article that actually gives an objective opinion all the time? Conservatives would hate it. Liberals would hate it. They'd want to hear something that's more representative of their bias. Everyone has a bias. And they want something representative of that. And social media, it's the algorithms that are written for Twitter and for Instagram and for Facebook, all these algorithms, and there are algorithms, you can look this up, it's not just me. There was just a press release by Facebook talking about their algorithms. They talk about how they want to capitalize on the viral content of emotional biases. And what happens is you create a thumbprint. So for your social media account, you have a unique thumbprint, and the stories that pop up, the advertisements that pop up, they're unique to you. So if you click on a lot of Black Lives Matter articles, for example, this Trayvon Martin or police brutality or stuff like that, you'll see a bunch more of that coming at you. So you'll go through life thinking that, oh man, the cops must be terrible. Every cop is hating black people and whatnot. But it's missing a huge scope. It's feeding you exactly what you're already looking at. And same thing for people who are huge Trump supporters, and that's all the articles they click on. That's all they end up seeing. And then they're wondering, why doesn't the whole world vote for Trump? It seems like this is all I'm reading these days. It's because that's all the articles that are being fed to them. And this is no secret. This is actually a thing. I just watched a TED Talk of this guy who is a very strong liberal and very, very supportive of the Black Lives Matter movement. He was one of the head speakers, and really, really great TED Talk. I should link it down below. Can't talk right now. It was a really great TED Talk. What he did was he made an experiment. He realized that all these articles were being tailored to his already biased interests. So he decided to trick the algorithms and then create a second profile on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. He created a second one, and he would only look at things that he didn't agree with. He would only click on articles that he never would have clicked on before. Only conservative things, only conservative articles from Fox News and whatnot. And he started tricking the algorithm into thinking he was a conservative, and then he was able to see what it is that conservatives are looking at. And it was a really interesting phenomenon where he started comparing the two accounts he would have. Like he would log in on his normal Twitter account and then see the news feed, and then he would log on to his fake test conservative account, and he got completely different news feeds, completely different articles, different tweets, different whatever. And it was like two different worlds. It was like for two different people. But it perpetuates an issue. But that's what social media is for. It's supposed to get you to look at your phone as many times as possible. And if you stop doing that, then they're doing something wrong and they need to change to like adapt to that. I try to have times where in the day I focus on checking my phone. Like I want to have a time where I handle all my notifications. Like in the morning, I'll spend like 15 minutes and I'll try to get through all my notifications, and then I'll clear it out of my mind and I won't worry about it until lunch. Because I want to use social media. I don't want social media to use me. And that's what they're trying to do with all these notifications and whatnot. It's trying to capitalize on viral nature of content. I guess that's why I keep seeing McDonald's ads on Twitter. Yeah, it's because you probably like McDonald's. On a lighter topic, do you like salt and vinegar chips? I love salt and vinegar chips. Huge fan. I wasn't before. A friend in high school got me into it. It's an acquired taste. I don't like Valentine's. Always feel sad when it's coming. I agree, 100%. It's really important to look at different points of view. Couldn't agree more, Cam. Couldn't agree more. Especially for someone like me. I was raised very right-wing, and then I was able to be exposed to so many other opinions, and I've changed a lot of the things that I believe. A lot of my points of view, like I've changed. I haven't completely done a 180 and now I'm like, I'm a hardcore left-wing liberal, like I wouldn't call myself that, but I would certainly say that I've changed a lot of my opinions since I've left home, just from the conversations I've had with other people. It's so valuable to do that. It's interesting. Like the legendary birds. How do you say that name? I see this everywhere. I see so many comments of people being like, you look like, is it Bergensen? Bergensen? How do you say his name? Some gamer, right? Like, I get comments literally every day saying, you look like this guy. Let me look this guy up real quick. Let me see. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm looking at real quick. This is what I'm looking up. Emerson. This guy. Do I really look like that guy? I guess the glasses, kind of. And the hair. I guess he's got the ears that kind of like me. And I guess he is white and he kind of has like that longer Caucasian face. Well, I guess maybe he does kind of look like me a little bit. Yeah, he's got the mouth and the nose and the cheekbones and the chin and the... Yeah, no, that makes sense. He does kind of look like... Oh! What is that? Anyway. Let me get rid of that real quick. That's interesting. You look better? Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Josh, what are your favorite TED Talks? I've got a list of my favorite TED Talks. I listen to a lot of TED Talks. I love TED Talks. I could go on for hours about TED Talks. Nah, bro, I think you look like... Who's Faker? My brother said you look like him too. Oh, that's funny. I mean, we could say that Dr. Mike looks like you too then. Dr. Mike? Who's that? Does he? Dr. Mike. I just like minus the... I mean, I'd like to look like this guy. He looks great. Solid 9 out of 10. That's a celebrity face right there. That's a compliment. Someone says I look like him. Appreciate that. Boost my confidence. Anyway, so what was going on with these guys? Sorry. I'm not really sure. Kind of look like you. So what's up now? We're just reading comments. Very little bit. You're more handsome. Guys, it's so nice. Love your jacket. Thank you. It seems that you really like Vietnamese music. Why? So that's an interesting story. I've been checking out some other songs for months now. Only the past month, I've been checking out a lot more just Vietnamese music, but there's a reason for that. Like before, like 4 months ago, I was checking out just periodically. Like I would do 5 K-pop reactions and then maybe 1 non-K-pop reaction, and that was kind of like the ratio. I was trying out new music. And I started checking out Turkish music, Kazakh music, which is, I guess, Q-pop. They call it Q-pop. I want to check out some Japanese music. I checked out some, I'm trying to remember. But yeah, I was checking out other music because I realized there's so much more out there. And it wasn't that I was getting bored with K-pop, but it was kind of like I was getting bored with K-pop. It's just, it was somewhere in between getting bored with K-pop and then just wanting to try something new. I didn't want to leave K-pop because I love K-pop. This is what the channel was founded on. I can't imagine ever quitting. I won't. Like no matter what, even 5 years from now, if I'm doing something completely different like vlogs or gaming or whatever, I don't know what I'll be doing 5 years from now. I'm still going to check out the new comebacks of all my favorite groups. That'll happen no matter what. But I realized there was so much other music out there I was just missing on. And it was a blessing in disguise when December rolled around. It was December 1st and I realized, wow, K-pop is really slow right now. There aren't a lot of comebacks because in November there was Comeback City, just like comebacks on comebacks on comebacks. It was great for K-pop YouTubers like myself. Great month, and then December rolled around, nothing, just barely anything. Like 1 or 2 things came out, like EXO's Winter album came out, for example, but nothing really big came out. So I was like, well, I want to stay consistent. I want to make a video a day, but I don't know what to actually make a video on. And I was like, oh, well, why don't I check out some other comments of people requesting? I got a request for V-pop, so I checked it out. I really liked it. Really liked it a lot. It was like heavy on EDM, which I realized was a thing. I didn't know that at the time, but EDM is in the roots of Vietnamese pop music. Love EDM. I didn't know that. And they have great music. So I was like, all right, let me check more of this stuff out. And it just kind of snowballed into where it is now. I kind of hope like my K-pop fans aren't getting mad at me for doing so much V-pop. I still do the bigger K-pop comebacks, especially if they're my favorite groups. But yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna do V-pop for. I just wanted to do it enough until I felt like I got a good exposure to it, because like I know K-pop. I've been listening to K-pop 7 years. Like I know all the big names, I know the entertainment companies, I know all the history, I know the drama, the politics, the slave contracts, and everything. I know everything there is to know about K-pop, at least a little bit. I'll know a little bit about every topic. I could probably name 100 K-pop groups right now, but I knew nothing about V-pop. So I wanted to like know enough about it that I'm like, oh yeah, these are the big name groups, these are like my favorite artists, these are blah, blah, blah. Like I want to just get enough so I can get familiar with it. But I really like to check out some other group, like some other type of music. Like I really did enjoy some of the Turkish pop that I've listened to, so I wanted to check more of that out. A friend of mine, because I work with a lot of Indians, a couple of my Indian engineering friends, they were telling me to check out some Indian music. And I was thinking like, yo, I would love to check that out, but I don't know where to start with that. Like I don't think I've gotten an Indian pop Bollywood request yet, but I'd love to. Josh, next thing you're gonna know, TED Talk, you'd become famous. That would be awesome. I'd love to do a TED Talk. I don't know what I would do it on. There's a lot of things I could talk about. You know what I might do? Honestly, like just off the top of my head, I think I would do an analysis of my favorite TED Talks. I know it sounds terrible. I mean, like, who would do that? That's not a TED Talk. But I think it's important. I think it's something that not a whole lot of people think about. I would take a consolidation of the 100 best TED Talks I've listened to, and I would say life lessons from TED Talks. And I would just say, because what's a TED Talk? It's like 10 to 15 minutes, and it's basically one idea. And why listen to one idea for 10 or 15, 20 minutes when you can get 100 of the best ideas in 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Like that's probably what I would want to do. And I would put my own spin on it. Say that there's definitely more out there than just TED Talks, because TED Talks does miss a lot. For the most part, TED Talks are liberal. They all have liberal ideas, liberal agendas, democratic viewpoints. I have yet to hear a single TED Talk by a conservative or a Republican. So they're missing an entire point of view. So I thought if there was an ability to have that happen, they would be so much more rich and fulfilling to hear both sides. Have you ever watched Show Me the Money? Yeah, I like Show Me the Money. I didn't watch the newest season, but yeah, I'm a fan. Last comment I said, scroll up. Didn't I already see that? Maybe not. Well, it's going to be quite a couple months for K-pop during the Winter Olympics. Quiet. BRB Josh, can you get back? Check out Insidious 4 trailer. They have a 4? I saw the first one. They have a 4 now? That's crazy. The first one was okay. It was worth seeing once and making fun of. But that's just my opinion. I'm not like a big fan of horror in general. K-pop is starting to back up again. I hope so. Do you have a game? What do you mean by game? I'm not mad. I love both genres. Oh yay, Maddie Hall. I saw you check out some V-pop too. Oh, sorry, I'm missing a lot of comments, guys. All right, what's going on here? With Indian music, it's mainly movie OSTs, and that's what they told me. My Indian friends at work, they were telling me that like all Indian music, it surrounds movies. That's how the music industry is. So, you know, nowadays you'd have an artist like Justin Bieber work with an entertainment company or a record label, and you'd make an album. But with Indian music, with Bollywood, what they do is they have a new movie coming out, like a whole theatrical movie, and they'll hire on some artists to produce soundtracks for that movie, because there's like 3, 4, or 5 like full-length songs in the movie itself. It's almost like a musical of sorts. You know, like you'd have a musical movie in America. It's not as common. We just call them musicals, but it's normal for them to bust out in song in a musical. But that happens all the time in these Indian Bollywood movies, and the songs that are playing were made for that movie. And then later on, after the movie's released, it's put out into an album, and that's how artists get their music out. So I think in order to get into Bollywood, I would have to get into movies in India, and I have to like understand all that, which I don't know where to start. It's kind of like an overwhelming thing to think about. SM plans to create the NCT Viet unit and will make V-pop get more recognition. Yeah, they absolutely will. Like SM, it's a business, and the business's main priority is to make a profit, and it'd be silly for them not to capitalize on this underdog entertainment industry, which is V-pop. I mean, even the sheer numbers, it just makes sense. You know, South Korea, China, they have some aging population, less kids, more of an aging adult population. But more developing countries like Vietnam and the Philippines, they have a very young population, a population that would be much more on board with getting on the music scene. And so even the sheer numbers, like with South Korea, you've got 53 million people in South Korea. And the Philippines, or in Vietnam, you have 90 million. I think it's 92 million people in Vietnam. So you have twice the population in Vietnam than South Korea, and a younger audience. So I think that V-pop is going to blow up even bigger. It's going to take time. It would take over 3 years in my own predictions for it to ever even get close to K-pop's developed music industry, but it can happen. So yeah, I know I'm not the only one to notice that. I think SM figured that out months ago, and that's why they're considering this Vietnamese NCT. And that's a very smart strategic move for them to make more profit. 3 years. Yeah, that's just my own estimation. It couldn't happen overnight. It couldn't happen in 2 years even. 3 is the minimum for V-pop to really hit the scene at the same level that I believe that K-pop already did. I mean, you look at the music industry as a whole, I feel like K-pop is more developed. V-pop is a little bit like the underdog, and it's more developing. But everything is developing. I don't know if that makes sense. That's just my opinion. This is what I'm figuring out. Have you ever considered reacting to general YouTube videos? So many cool stuff there. I'd love to. I don't know. I don't have like a way to do that. I guess what I'm trying to say, like which video and how often. And if I just switched overnight, I'd lose a lot of fans. But maybe if I kind of peppered it in, it would be okay. I just got to be strategic about it, I think. I don't want to like content shock any of my existing fan base. You impressed with the singer in Vietnam? Yeah, the singers have been very impressive. Like, there's a lot of talent in Vietnam. Lots and lots of talent. Like, I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but there are some incredibly good artists there. A lot that remind me of K-pop artists. You know what I mean? Like, they seem like if some of my friends were to see it, they would just assume they were K-pop artists. What is your main job? YouTuber, isn't it? No, my main job is process engineer. Process engineer. That's my main job. It's just a hobby to do YouTube. I'd love to do it full time, but it's easier said than done. yeah, I hope that they have a VCon sooner than later. I'd love a VCon. That would be awesome. I hope that happens soon. Josh, have you checked out Infinite's new music song? Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. I didn't do a reaction, but I really liked it. I'm doing my skincare routine right now. Get it? Fight those poor, dirty, whatever. What even contaminates a pore? Is it oil, dirt? It's probably like ambient dirt in the air too. And then probably we're like, from us touching our face, that can do it too. I don't know. Clean pores are happy pores. You gotta moisturize too though. I think that, I don't know, a lot of people, myself included, kind of have misconceptions about skin and the skincare regimen, thinking that oil is bad, oil is the enemy and whatnot, but it's not. It's your skin just trying to lubricate itself and keep it from drying out. And the more lubricated your skin is, the less issues you're going to have in terms of aging and whatnot. But you can have too much oil to the point that it clogs your pores. So I used to get like these harsh cleanser that would just strip all the oil off my face, and I used to do that multiple times a day. And then my skin, in a reaction to that, would just pump out more and more oil to compensate, which created all these bad problems, which resulted in acne. But the better thing to do, which is what I'm doing now, is using a gentle cream cleanser that only takes out some of the oil but removes the dirt. Then maybe use a toner to get deeper or something chemical. And then you follow it up with a moisturizer. And a lot of the times I would go with a cream-based moisturizer or something more water-based. But lately I've found that oil-based moisturizers are the most effective. At least for my skin, and that was completely anti-intuitive. I never wanted to put oil onto my skin. It didn't make sense, but now I'm trying it and it's working wonders. Oil, like you could literally put olive oil, you could use that in moderation and it can help. I never thought that would be a thing, but just a little bit, it can go a long way. Grapeseed oil is really good too. Use that routine too. What's up? Appreciate how dorky you are. It really makes me happy. Well, I'm glad that you could appreciate it. I'm just being myself. I know it's like, I feel like sometimes I need to have like a swagger, like I need to have like some on-stage personality. Like, CL is a completely different person in person than on the stage. Same thing with G-Dragon, same thing with name any K-pop idol for the most part. And I'm not a K-pop idol. I don't pretend to be. But the more popularity that I get, more recognition I get, the more subscribers, the bigger the channel gets. Like, I feel like there's like a pressure to like try to act a certain way. But it's exhausting and I don't want to do that. I'd rather just be me, even if it's dorky. It's just me. It's easy to be me. So that's kind of the way I am on my channel. At least I try to be that way. There's been times in the past where I've like tried to be a little bit cooler, a little bit whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, nah, forget it. It's not worth it. Do you think being religious has changed from... Josh, do you think being religious has changed from before? Do you think people are being more judgmental these days? I know it's wrong to judge by the internet, but people are against religions right now. Yeah, I mean, they are, for sure. Because what are religions but sets of morals? Sets of laws and ideas and standards. And nowadays, if you have standards that are different from someone, they're like, oh, triggered. Just triggered. Which is funny because I thought we were going towards more of the acceptance era, the tolerance era. I'm tolerating, I'm accepting, I'm opening my mind. That was the big, like, I'm tolerant now. Let's try to train tolerance and be tolerant. But what I'm finding is it's more of a hidden agenda. We aren't being tolerant. We're only being tolerant to the people that think like us. And we're being more intolerant of people that don't think like us. That's kind of the biggest, I think, hypocrisy that I've seen in the tolerance era. Is it's not really tolerance at all. It's just tolerance towards people that think like me. And if you don't think like me, #triggered, you're going down. Like, for example, Christians, in the Bible, they say homosexuality is wrong. That's what it says in the Bible. I can't change that. I have gay friends, and then they'll ask me about it. It makes me really uncomfortable. I got to tell them the truth on what the Bible says. But that my personal opinion might be that I love this guy. He's one of my best friends. And he respected that. And I was really surprised that he respected that. But I always get worried about that because I'm a Christian, and I'm worried all the time that people will ask me about, like, what does the Bible say about gay marriage, though? And I'm like, don't ask me that question, man. Don't do it. It's the same thing for Muslims, too, because it's the same thing. Quran says the same thing. A lot of religions say that. But yeah, it's like, I'm very, very tolerant of that, of people who think differently, of people who are gay. I'm very tolerant of that. But I've noticed that if you're on the other side, there's not as much tolerance. It's more of like, you need to think like me or else. Which I wish it wasn't that way. I wish it could be, no matter what you think, let's be accepting, and let's be respectful. Studying complementary medicine can help people become more understanding towards people. How so? I'm curious. Studying complementary medicine. It's becoming like that in Islam as well. Yeah, it's a thing. I understand. I have a lot of Islamic friends, a lot of Muslim friends. You're right. I think along with the beliefs and how you were brought up, it goes again, all the time. Getting a girlfriend tutorial. Burn that shirt. It doesn't matter. You're already good looking. It's funny. Personally, I like religion for the ethics and morals it instills in people. I understand why people can be negative towards it, though. I mean, yeah, anyone that has a different opinion, it can cause friction. I can understand that, for sure. How old are you, Josh? You look so handsome and energetic. Well, thank you, Peter. 25. Check out B-Ray, Josh. He's the dopest underground rapper in Vietnam. Ooh, I gotta remember that, B-Ray. Hi, everybody. Just joined. So surprised Josh live streaming this hour, but no complaint. Happy Friday. It's been a while since I've live streamed. I just enjoy doing this. I want to talk to you guys. I'm just reading your comments right now. So if you want me to read your comment, just make a comment right now. That's what I'm reading. You'll learn to recognize why emotions create diseases and patterns in behavior. That's interesting. I'd love to look into that. I don't personally believe that 100% of illnesses come from emotions and come from your mindset. There are actual physical pathogens, and there are bacteria and bacterium that can infect your body and whatnot. But I do believe a lot of physical illness comes from your mindset. They've figured this out. Scientists, atheists, people that don't even believe in a God know how important the mindset is to your actual physical well-being. That stress, just stress alone, just take stress. Stress can negatively affect every organ in your body. Think about that. How interesting is that? Stress alone can negatively impact every organ in your body, your heart condition, your liver, your everything. It's like a cancer. People can get cancer strictly from stress. It's crazy. We're figuring this out now. There's a link between your mindset and your physical well-being. People didn't know that before. So it's a shift in thought. It's not that all physical illness is created by your mindset. That's what these cults think about. Like Christian scientists, they think that people who are anyone who gets sick, it's just because they made themselves sick, and that's the way they deserve to be because they must have brought that on themselves. Which I don't agree with for many reasons. I won't get into that. Full circle from when I first joined the stream. People are trying to change the unchangeable religion to match the common mindset or opinion. Exactly. Could you show your workspace? Sure, if you want to see it. All right, let's see here. So I'll just open this up here. I'm gonna start moving you guys around. All right, I'm picking you up. I'll try not to shake the camera too much. I know it can be annoying. So I'll back up and just show you my workspace. Well, these are the posters on the wall, first of all. All those things up there. And my workspace, let me turn it around here. This is my workspace. So I've got a 29-inch ultra-wide monitor, a Logitech surround sound system. Oh, the subwoofer though, that's my baby. Got a Yeti microphone, with a, what's it called, a windscreen pop filter. Oh, it's blurry. Come on, focus. There you go. My other camera's hiding behind here, so typically during a reaction, I'll move my monitor to the side, like that. It's on an arm back here. My monitor's on an arm, so I'll just move it And my camera's here. This is how I'll record. It's on like a gooseneck here. It's my camera. And that's my gaming tower. And those are my lights. They're LED panels by Neewer. And there's just some CFLs in the back. And that's kind of my workstation over here. It's a typical couch, laptop. My Bible's there. Got some work I was working on. The fireplace. Oh, it's been a while since I put a fire on. It's reminding me I should put on a fire. Got a picture of my family over there. I wish I could show you. You know, over here we have, that's the exit if you want to leave the apartment. It's over there. I don't know how far I could show you. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I'm kind of walking away from the microphone. But yeah, so it's the exit. That's the door outside. And yeah, that's the kitchen over there. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if I'm even pointing it in the right direction right now, but this is what it looks like, I guess, from the back. That's how I formulate all my ideas and everything. Different ideas for videos to make. All right, climbing back around. I couldn't see the screen, so I didn't know what that looked like to you guys. But yeah, that was my workspace in here. Brace yourself, Josh's vlogs are coming next Feb. I hope. I want to do more vlogs. Was that an MFBTY poster? It is. It's up there. Busy tiger, human ray. How's the weather in your area? It's cold. It's cold. It's been gray the past week, but then it got a little sunny over the weekend, which I was glad about. But it's been cold. You a big gamer? What games do you play regularly? I love gaming. I used to game a ton in high school. I gamed a little bit in college, but then I started failing and I realized I sucked at engineering and I needed to devote my entire life to that. So I stopped gaming in college because I needed to study. After college, you know, I had YouTube at that point, so that took up most of my free time. I didn't have time to game. Only recently, in the past few months, I've done some more games. Like I would play, only really first-person shooters is really all I would play. So I played like Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War. I played Far Cry, Titanfall. I could go on. Hitman. Random question, do you have a favorite book, Josh? Other than God's Word? Yeah, I mean, there's some good books I've read. I don't read a whole lot. I'd say for fiction, there's this thriller book called The Blue Nowhere by Jeffrey Deaver. It's like a good thriller. How to Win Friends and Influence People is incredibly powerful. It's a great read. I would recommend it. Think and Grow Rich is incredibly good. Don't get thrown off by these cheesy titles either. These are some of the best books that have ever been written. But yeah, anyway. It's icy Satan here in Canada. That's funny. Far Cry. Have you read City of Joy? I don't think I have. No. Which state do you live in? New Jersey, currently. Born in Maryland. Your room is very beautiful. Thank you. Kind of want to show you guys the rest of this, but like, you know, the cord only goes so far. I want to show you guys like the kitchen and everything. How cold? You've got Minnesota watching. Well, not as cold as Minnesota. Y'all are like, respect, all right? You know, because like that, Minnesota. See, I actually was in Minnesota for a summer. In summer of 2014, I was in Benson, Minnesota, which is like a 2.5 hour drive from Minneapolis. And I was there for 3 months during the summer for an internship for engineering. And boy, did that. The weather there is very different. Y'all have real winter. Will you react to some Arabic songs? I'd love to. Did you change your setup when people came over? Do you change your setup when people... Not really. It depends. Like if I have YouTubers over for like a YouTuber after party, like I've had a couple here. No, not really. Not really change it. Kind of like the way it's set up right now. I like it. Yeah. I mean, I might get more chairs here for people to sit down, but featuring Masu. I like Masu. It's probably some of the best V-pop that I've heard. Really good producer. Sorry I'm missing some of your comments, guys. I'm not trying to miss anything. Ooh, I should probably stop soon to eat dinner either way. Have you played the game Soma? I guess really think about life or death. No, I haven't. I should check that out. Where are you from? Maryland, East Coast, USA. I'm thinking you're probably from Vietnam, so I should just say East Coast, USA. I'm a 30-minute drive from New York City. I almost want to tell people I'm just from New York City, or I'm like when people ask where I live, I just want to say New York City area. Not because I'm trying to lie, but because I know that most people internationally know New York City. And I literally could drive 20, 30 minutes and I'd be downtown New York City. So it's easy to just tell people New York City. Handsome boy, thank you. Do you like your musicals? And if so, what is your favorite? Musicals. I have a small capacity for musicals. Like, if I listen to a musical, a whole musical, I don't need to listen to another musical for a year. Like, I only want like one a year sometimes. But I do like some. Like, I've heard some Broadway performances I really liked. Like Phantom was incredible. Really like Phantom of the Opera. What's your favorite song of V-pop? I've listened to a bunch. I would say that Masu was really good. I know I'm not saying it right, but Sun Tong MTP. Let me look at this. Sun Tong MTP. I don't know how to pronounce, but he reminds me of like a Vietnamese G-Dragon kind of, and he's incredibly talented. I heard a couple of his music videos, really liked him. Some other producers are really good, like Tulliver. But I'm still getting into the scene. I'm still learning. Have you seen La La Land? I have not. I've heard mixed reviews. I've seen you a lot with this channel, Neo and Raven. Of course, Bubble Tea. Have you seen The Greatest Showman? No, I haven't. What do you think about Trump's decisions about Palestine's capital? Whew, we just changed topics really quick. Well, I don't want to get too controversial. I will say this. Every president for the past 5, 10, 20 years, they've all wanted to do the same thing. They've all wanted to move the embassy to, what was it, Jerusalem? Like, they've all wanted to do that. Like, Obama wanted to do that. Who was before? Bush wanted to do that. Who was before him? Clinton, I think. He wanted to do it too. All these presidents, they all wanted to do that. The American people have wanted to do that. And Trump was the first one to actually do it. And everyone freaks out. Like he's some demon for doing it, but every single president has wanted to do that. And it's the popular vote. The average U.S. citizen wants that to happen. And that's an actual right for any country to choose where they want their embassy to be. They can choose for it to be wherever they want. Like, for example, I don't know if we have like a South Korean embassy here in the U.S. We might. But South Korea can choose where they want that to be. But yeah, kind of crazy to think about. It's funny, the UN flipped out. The UN freaked. I don't understand a whole lot about like the United Nations politics, but they did not like that Trump made that decision. It's funny though, because people can put the embassy wherever they want and they do that, but I don't know. I read this article of a list of the things that Trump did and then a list of the things that Obama did. And there was some overlap. Some of the things they've done have been the same types of things. When Obama does it, it's okay. When Trump does it, it must be wrong. We've got to riot. We've got to go make a protest. Of course, some of the things I understand. but there are some things that I think people get upset about that they shouldn't. Are you a Trump supporter? I wouldn't say I'm a Trump supporter. I wouldn't go as far to say that, I love Trump. I would go as far to say that a lot of the times I think that people demonize him. I don't think he's as bad as Hitler, for example. Like, I see that on Twitter all the time. Like, I would rather have Hitler than Trump. And I'm like, I think you've lost touch with reality. You're talking Hitler, who massacred millions of Jews, is somehow better than Trump? That's where people lose me. That's where I get lost with people. So I would say that I'm as far as saying Hitler is worse than Trump. Hitler's got to be worse. That's where, like, people ask me about politics. People ask me all the time, what I think about Trump. In work, at church, people ask me. And I typically ask them the question. The first question I ask is, like, who would you rather have in the White House, Hitler or Trump? And if they say Hitler, I don't go any further in the conversation because I'm not talking to someone logical or someone in touch with reality. Yeah, some of the things Trump said on TV were no big deal, yet foreign TV news reinterprets it. That happens all the time. Very biased. Where do you live? I live very close to New York City. Interesting. I'll say it a different way. People are awful and great at the same time. Enigmas. People are enigmas. That's true. There's still time for Trump to be worse than Hitler, Josh. Well, sure there is. But do you think right now, Ellie, that Hitler is better than Trump? Not what could happen in the future, but what will happen now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. As long as we haven't all died because of nuclear apocalypse at the end, I'm okay. I'm sure we won't. We likey Masua's feature with B-Ray. Message retracted. In a creepy voice, where do you live? I've said it like 1,000 times. I should probably just put it in my bio or in my, well, it is in my bio, my Twitter bio. I should put it in my Facebook, oh no, my YouTube bio. I should put it. Bye, Josh, gotta go. See ya, Carolina. I should end too. I think he has the potential to. Very boy. Josh can right now make a live stream reaction. That would be nice. I'm not in this stream. I do that sometimes, but I feel like just talking to y'all. But I will in the future for sure. All of the bios. I'm joking, LOL, trying to sound like a stalker. My friend recommended a series called Man in the High Castle. Is it good? Haven't heard it. Have not heard it, I can't say. Where do you buy that jumper, please? What, like this? The hoodie? I think a jumper is different. Maybe that's what, maybe a hoodie is called a jumper where you're from? I don't know. Will you be moving back to Maryland soon? I hope so. I really do hope so. Hey Josh, I love your reactions. Been a subscriber since the legendary Stella Vibrato. Yes. Thank you. Something in your hoodie. I love this hoodie. It's awesome. Think about Hamilton the musical. Can't comment on that, unfortunately. Other random question, have you watched Black Mirror? I have. I like Black Mirror. It's a dark show. That's not a show that you can like binge watch too well. I mean, it's so dark, It's good. It's very well done. Great show. But it's dark. They just came out with a new season. I actually downloaded it. I'm going to check it out tonight, but it's a dark show. Do you watch anime? I watch a ton of anime. If you check out my Twitter, I know Twitter isn't super popular in Vietnam, and I'm guessing by your name you're Vietnamese. But on my Twitter, I put a tweet out showing a list of every single anime I've ever reacted to. Next time you're in ShopRite, try to buy protein other than chicken. Yes, ma'am. Josh, I have been meaning to ask, how do you hang up your albums? Oh, very carefully. And they fall off the wall sometimes. It's difficult. How do I hang this guy up? I can pull it off the wall. There's a Velcro strip on the back, and then I put another Velcro strip here, and then you can just replace them and move any album you want. That's how this is up too. This is on a Velcro strip, so I could pull it off if I wanted to. But yeah, command strips. I have a bunch here, ton of command strips. I've got like every type of command strip there is, every type of tape. It's difficult. I'm trying to figure out a good balance. Sorry, I'm missing your comments. Hamilton is so good. Where do you live? I love Hamilton. What are you binge watching at the moment? I just finished watching Parasite, the anime. I just started watching the 3rd season of The Magicians. I really like that show, but I just hate that it doesn't all come out at once. Like, I want a Netflix style binge that, but I'll have to wait. I really like Mr. Robot, but the season just ended, so we gotta wait until the next one starts. Same thing with The Walking Dead. Same thing with Game of Thrones. But But yeah, I can only watch Black Mirror at a time. I'm back doing skincare routine. You're doing a lot of skincare routine tonight. I binge watch everything, including Black Mirror. Whew. Twitter isn't popular in Viet. Yeah, I know. I've noticed that. It's interesting because I didn't know that. Like, you just figure out these things just as you get into a certain demographic. You just learn these things. Gives me an idea to think about for the whole week. I'm in the Czech Republic, so... Oops, sorry. I think My Name Baby saw a reaction. It's pretty legendary. Oh, yeah? I gotta remember My Name Baby. See, I've done over 1,000 reactions, so it's tough to remember sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, especially during a marathon. Like, when I do a live stream marathon with y'all and I'll watch, like, sometimes 20, 30 reactions in a row. Oh, boy, it's tough. They all meld together. It's tough to, like, distinguish them and have, like, instant, perfect photographic memory. Can you post more pics on Instagram? I'm sorry. I noticed I did get a lot of Vietnamese followers recently from the V-pop reactions, and so I'm getting more followers on Instagram that are Vietnamese, and they have noticed that I haven't been posting much. I don't post a whole lot. I feel like I don't know what to post there, honestly. Like, I have these commitment issues. Like, I feel like something has to be picture perfect to be on Instagram, and I don't have stuff like that. Like, occasionally I'll have something I feel like is worthy of Instagram. Like, I'm taking a really good picture with myself and all my YouTubing friends at KCON. Like, that's great. Put it on Instagram. Or, I don't know. I just don't know what's worthy of Instagram. I feel like I just hype it up too much. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm too perfectionist for that. Like, I feel like Snapchat's easy. It's all temporary. You can just snap here, snap there. It's no big deal. Just snap, snap, snap. But, like, Instagram is like a forever thing. It's like creating an album. Hello from Vietnam. What's up, Vietnam? That's a good idea for hanging stuff up. I think so. It depends. Heavier items it works for. Like, I would never do that for a poster. I use the thinner, more adhesive-based command strips for these posters. For these guys, I use like these tacky gel strips. For those up there, you can't even see them, but I use a completely different thing. There's probably like 5 different types of hangers on these walls right now. Bye, Jenny. Hello, Tran. Again, please, can you dance this song twice likely? You Burson. That guy again. Post 1 million selfies are just cat memes. I guess I could do that, technically. You are an actor of America? I'm acting crazy right now. No, I can't do that. I'm terrible. I'm weird. I know this. Oh, I need to bring this mic back. The mic hasn't been here this whole time. You've been listening to me from far away. It's not acceptable. I'm not an actor. I've considered, like, in the past, I've liked the idea of going into that. Like in high school, you know, remember way back in the live stream when I was telling you guys how I always thought I would just go to engineering college, get an engineering degree, get an engineering job, and be an engineer the rest of my life. Like, it's what I always assumed I would do. It's never what I wanted to do. I never thought I would like it. And I do kind of like it. But that was never a factor in making that decision. It was just something I was going to do because it would make good money, honestly. It'd be a solid career. I never considered actually doing what I'd want to do. And what I'd want to do would be like something like that, like go and become an actor. I've considered a couple different things. Now that I am an engineer, I've actually seriously entertain the idea of like doing other stuff that I've actually wanted to do, like YouTubing and stuff, as it becomes more viable. But I'm not just going to quit my engineering job and switch to YouTube without a plan, without, you know, that actually being a thing that could pay for the bills. It would have to be something that is actually working or could actually replace it. Have you watched Evangelion? I have such a love-hate relationship with Evangelion. We don't have to talk about it. Just finished watching Cable Girls. I haven't seen that one. Where did you study in college? I saw a comment. I went to Penn State. I graduated 2016, May 2016. Or handsome, you could be an actor. Well, thank you. Appreciate you saying that. I actually use paper to put my posters, like a fold little corner holders. That's really interesting. You fold little corner holders to go on the corners of your posters. But how does that go on the wall? Do you actually put adhesive on the corner paper so that you're not sticking the adhesive to the poster itself? Because if so, that's brilliant. I didn't think about that. Like your jacket. Thank you. How about V-pop, bro? V-pop's lit. It's lit and I'm still learning about it. Anything else? What's going on here? Is the K-pop music video where there were a group all die because of gang violence, you hug Jack Jack right after watching it? Oh, I remember that. That's funny. I only have tape. Hey, tape can work too. Josh is an American actor. That's funny. You just got super loud. I'm sorry, Maria. I can like put this back away. Yeah, we just did Google that. A lot of people have been telling me that. I wonder, I'm just having this thought now. I wonder if this guy, I don't even know how to say his name, Bergeson? It's odd spelling. I wonder if he ever gets the comment on his videos like, you look like Josh Binder. Like, I wonder if he's ever gotten that comment. Maybe. I'm thinking, like, I gotta, like, remove my own emotional bias. Let me think, has that ever happened? Statistical probability, yes. It's probably happened to him in his videos. The chances of him seeing it are small. Well, I say that. What is his platform? Twitch? He's a gamer. See, I'm not familiar with that entire world. If I knew how that worked, I could answer the question, but it's not even a question you guys asked. Sorry, I have these like trains of thought I go through in my head. It's sometimes very random. I only put posters on my wall if I have them in frames. It gets kind of hard because not all Korean posters are one size. It's tough. The struggle is real. Like, I had this poster here. This is only a poster, but I actually wanted to put it on the wall, and I wanted to put these red tacks into it, but you can't do that with the wall because then you're putting it directly into the wall, and the wall's really hard, and it would bend the tack. So I had the idea of putting it on the foam poster board. This is foam poster board, like the ones you have those science fair projects on, you know what I'm talking about? So I bought the poster board. The poster board was too big. It actually had pieces down here, so I cut those off, to match the poster. And then I used like this glue stick to try to put it on, but the glue stick was too wet and it made the poster all ripply, so I had to like completely throw it out and start over. So I used this spray adhesive, and that's worked somewhat well, but it's starting to like bubble up here. It's never gonna be perfect. It was a fun DIY, just doing those things. I think it's pronounced Birgeson. Birgeson? You roll your tongue. I bet he will now. Hey Josh, what's the topic today? I'm completely just rambling off whatever you guys want to talk about in the comments. And I'll probably end this in the next 5 minutes. I never expected to go this long. We'll do that now. Josh, how do you feel about religious people watching shows like Fox's Lucifer? Doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's a fiction. You know what I mean? Like, it's like watching any fiction. I don't really know a whole lot about Lucifer, the show, but they're probably like glorifying what Christians think of as Satan himself. So it's probably not like it's not the best thing for Christians, but I would have no issue. Like, if I liked that show, I'd watch it with no conviction, because I know it's fiction. They're not pretending to be like some true, real reality thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think I can detach myself from that enough to just enjoy a work of fiction. Do you like Taylor Swift? Not particularly. I'm not talking about her as a person. I'm just not really a huge fan of her music. It's catchy. It's just not something you would ever find on my iPod. I have heard some things, because I know some people who know her in person, and I haven't heard great things. I've heard some bad things about her as a person. So I'm not gonna like judge her from those things. Like, I have to meet her myself, but I heard it's not great. They're just humanizing him. That's funny because he's not a human. I guess he's like, if you believed in the Bible, he's an angel. He's a fallen angel. He was actually, Lucifer was one of the highest angels. I don't think he was an archangel, but he was one of the highest ranked angels in God's angel hierarchy. Like, before mankind was even created, there was heaven, and God had all the angels, and there was a hierarchy, and they all had different roles and different things they would do. And I think Lucifer was, I think he did worship. Like, he would make music. So he would be incredibly beautiful to look at. Like, if you yourself were to see Lucifer before he had fallen, you probably would completely be smitten. You'd die from just the beauty. It'd be so much to take in. It's just a beautiful creature. But the issue was pride. That was the original sin. That was the first sin that ever happened. Before Adam and Eve ever sinned, Lucifer sinned. He decided that he wanted to be better than God. It was a pride thing. He wanted people to worship him instead of him having to worship God. That's an interesting thing to think about. I guess God gave free will to angels as well. Yeah. And God's omnipotent. God's all-powerful. He could have, in the blink of an eye, just like evaporated Lucifer. But he gave him the choice, and he chose to fall. And what's interesting is that Lucifer took a third of the angels with him. 1/3. We don't know how many angels there were, but he took a third of them. 33% fell with him and decided to turn against God. Really interesting to think about. Josh, why do you still do not have a girlfriend? I don't know, Debbie. I don't know, Debbie. I get all depressed over here. I'm trying not to think about my singleness. Why do I not have a girlfriend? I don't know. I wish I had a girlfriend. I guess I just haven't met her yet. I haven't met the person. I don't know a whole lot of people in person. I don't really have too much of a social life. I want to have more of a social life. It's hard to meet someone who's a Christian, too. That's important to me, to meet someone who has a similar faith to me. It's really important to me. I've dated people who aren't Christians, who were not Christians, and especially in college, I dated people who, just were other things. But because I didn't know if it was that important in the beginning, and later through experience, I figured out that it was something that was important. Lucifer was the archangel, Josh Binder. You sure? Because I know Michael was an archangel, but was Lucifer an archangel? Like that, maybe according to the show. Let me look this up, because as far as I know, with what I've looked up with archangels, I thought that Michael was the only known archangel. Was Lucifer an archangel? Looks like he might have been. Yeah, because then there's the cherubim and the seraphim. Lucifer. Sorry, I'm kind of going on a tangent here. I'll finish in a second. For an archangel or a normal angel, not as much personal information about the angel titled Satan is given in biblical text. Satan, tempter. There are different classes of angels in the Bible. Yeah, I knew that. First to Michael is the archangel in Jude 9. That I did know. Chief angel can mean messenger. Yeah, it looks like not according to the Bible. So according to Christianity, what Christians, what Judean? Is it Judean? Judean Christians believe is that there was no real reference to Lucifer being an archangel, but maybe according to another religion. All right, let me try to figure out where we were. Sorry, I missed your comments. What are you doing? I was looking up something someone said. I don't know much about angels, but my dad knows. Same thing with my dad. He knows way more than me. According to Supernatural, my sources on cryptid mythology, both are archangels. Yeah, I love Supernatural. I've seen the entire series, just not the most recent thing because it just got ridiculous and they should have ended it. But I love the show Supernatural, and a lot of it does line up with what the Bible says. They use a lot of scriptural bases for what they write, but half of it, easily 50% of it's just fiction. And the writers say that. The writers say, don't take this seriously if you're ascribing to a particular religion. It's all just fiction. But I can understand how that could cause confusion. If you're watching Supernatural and you're watching Lucifer and you don't know what Christians believe, you're going to start thinking things that might not be true. There are a lot of similarities between the Quran and the Bible. There are. Definitely a lot of similarities. Handsome boy. Thank you. Can I be your girlfriend? I don't even know you. Maybe. I have no idea. I can't say no, but I also can't say yes. Have you seen BTS Flower Boy? I have. What are you doing? Oh yeah, I got up to where we're talking about. I mean, you were so nice and friendly, and so very surprisingly, you don't have a girlfriend. I think I'm pretty picky now, because I know how important it is. I know that the person you decide to marry, that's going to be the second most important decision you ever make in your entire life. And the person you marry will determine 80% of your happiness or 80% of your misery. It's a really important decision. It's the person you're going to spend the most of your time with. So it's a really critical decision. I've had a lot of relationships, like 3 serious ones. Yeah, I would say that 3 serious relationships, about 2 years long. And they just happen to not work out, unfortunately. Most of the people I've dated are now married or engaged, which is great. I'm very happy for them, but I'm like the one left that's just like, yep, I'm single now. Haven't met anyone else. I feel like some of you guys know what I'm talking about. All your friends are getting married, getting invited to all these weddings, and you just go there and you're like, yeah, I didn't bring a +1. I didn't really have anyone even to bring. It sounds confusing. I agree, it's a very important decision. I'm having a hard time getting used to college, and algebra is super difficult. Any advice? I'm a big fan of yours. Well, Hannah, what I would say is put in the time to study a certain amount every day. I know that's like probably not what you wanted to hear, but honestly, with algebra, it's based on practice problems. If you're able to do those practice problems, you'll probably nail the exam. So if you're able to just like put in time, like even 20 minutes, just do practice problems, even if they're not assigned, just do the same ones. Keep putting it in, keep putting in the time. You'll kill it. You'll absolutely kill it. I don't know if you're in college or if you're in, I don't know what you said. Yeah, college. That means there's going to be office hours. You can go to the professor's office hours and ask them any questions you have. Also, if you're going to their office hours, they're going to know that you care, and they're going to know that you're trying. So even if you're borderline on a grade, they'll be more inclined to help you, and maybe turn that B into an A or that C into a B, whatever it is. I've had that happen many times in my college career. Wish I was able to meet you physically. I'd love to meet you guys. That's why I love KCON so much. It's like the one place I can meet so many of you guys. You're too handsome to have a girl. That's funny. Don't worry. My 7 years relationship ended and all my friends are engaged, married, and having babies. It happens. Jenny, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I get lonely. I get really lonely. Man, I'm an introvert. I enjoy time alone, but you can have too much time alone. You guys know what I mean. I spent a whole weekend just like, I'll be filming, editing, I don't know, maybe talk to my mom on the phone. It's true. I'll call my mom. I would call her even when I was in a relationship. But yeah, you get lonely. We're not designed to be alone. We were never designed to live life solo. We were designed to be in a relationship with people, humans. We're social creatures. That's a very important part of being human. Weird things happen. When you shut yourself off from humanity, bad things happen. You can be my +1 at my cousin's wedding in October. Let's do it. She said in the video he was against marriage. He thought for the spouse to stay tied when there's no more love felt like misery. So that's a depressing worldview that's becoming more and more common that I vehemently disagree with. But the issue with where that comes from is someone's idea of love. And what that says is I'm the most important. My happiness is king. My happiness is most important to me. It's more important than anyone else's happiness. And if that's going to be your opinion, you're going to be alone and you're going to be miserable for your rest of your life. It's eventually going to cause issues in the relationship. What's unpopular is to say that I'm going to sacrifice for this person through better or for worse. To actually think of their needs before your needs. It's very rare, but it does happen. And the principles from that stem from, well, at least in my case, they stem from Christianity. That's what the Bible talks about all the time. Monogamy, one person, sacrificing to them, submitting to them. A lot of people don't like that. It says like, oh, wives submit to your husbands. And they're like, oh, I hate that's a anti-feminist. Well, the next verse says husbands submit to your wives. It's an equal thing on both sides. And that's another reason it's very important that I meet someone who is also a Christian, because if we're both with that same mindset of submitting to each other, putting each other's needs before our own, that's a beautiful marriage. That's a marriage of harmonizing and learning and maturing together and loving. Your idea of love, though, will really tell you how your love life is going to end up going. I personally believe love is a choice that you make every day. I don't think love is just this feeling of, oh yeah, I'm so in love with this person. I fell in love with them, and every time I see them, it's like, well, there's a name for that now. Well, there's infatuation, and that lasts for about under a year, about 9 months. You have the infatuation phase. You know what I mean? Like, you meet someone new, you're hitting it off, you're having that honeymoon phase of getting to know them. They could be just eating an apple. Wouldn't matter what they're doing. They could be eating an apple, and you're like, oh, I just love the way you're eating that apple. It's so crunchy. You know, it's like whatever it's doing. But after a while, after that 9-month mark, it could be a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. You could be trying to read a book, and they're over there eating that apple, and you're like, Matt, could you just not? I'm just trying to read over here, and it's kind of annoying. Like, that can happen. It's like, it's one of those things. It's like, well, where did the love go? The love's gone now. It's time to get a divorce and find someone else. No, that's just going to perpetuate this cycle of nonsense selfishness. You're going to be unhappy. It's going to be making other people unhappy. Find someone you can love and cherish for the rest of a poor Matt. Find someone you can love and cherish the rest of your life, someone you can submit to. If that's a whole other level. Finding someone you can submit to, someone you can sacrifice your life for, you got to be pretty picky at that point. Because when I say I do, I will say I do through better or for worse. Whatever happens, regardless of the circumstances, to say yes to them and no to everyone else. And that's sort of a romantic way of thinking about love, but it's coming from the Bible. It's where I think about it. Because what is love based on? When I had a friend recently who was getting engaged, and so excited about it. I just love her so much. And I asked him, I was just curious. I was like, because I had never met her. I was like, so what do you love about her? Tell me about it. Why do you love her so much? And he was like, oh, I just, she's beautiful. She's funny. She's supportive of me and my decisions. She makes me laugh. And he listed a bunch of great things. They were awesome things. But then I thought to myself, I didn't say this, but I thought to myself, I was thinking, what about one day when she's not beautiful? Or what if she's not supportive of your decisions one day? Or what if she kind of doesn't become funny? What if she's a little more irritable one of these days? Do you stop loving her? Maybe. Probably. If that's what your love is based off of. But what if your love wasn't based off of those things? What if your love was a choice? That whether you're beautiful or whether we're 80 years old together, whether you're funny or you're going through mood swings, whether you're whatever, I'm loving you no matter what. We're sticking it out together. This is us, and we're never changing. Like, that's beautiful. That's what I want, and that's hard to find. But I found that Christians is the most common to find people who think that same way about love. And that's why it's so important to me. I can meet someone who I'm great with and everything's perfect and everything's going great, but if they don't have that mindset, it's always going to be like, how long is this going to last before they decide the love is gone? And then they just leave. It's sad. That's why the divorce rate is so high. It's higher than it's ever been. A historic high. Historic high. Mood swings equals periods. Exactly. Like, it's a normal thing. It is a normal thing to get mood swings. It's as normal as getting periods. Guys go through mood swings too. It's a normal thing. You got to understand that going into a relationship. You're good at talking. Thank you. Yeah, actually I do, because God is eternal, so why wouldn't he matter today? Just saying my opinion only. I'm just trying to change yours. Bye, Brooke. Oh, Brooke's leaving. Bye, Brooke. You should become a professor. I appreciate that, Hannah. Oh, sorry. I lost my train of thought. But Josh, it's every month. I get that. I totally get that. It's just you're not going to meet a girl who just doesn't get periods. It's just something that comes with the package. I'm sure there's like the male equivalent of getting a period, or like something like that. Like guys going through their testosterone mood swings, or I don't know, whatever it is. I'm saying it's the same. There's pros and cons of both sides. It's funny because I think like you, but I'm not a Christian. Oh, hey, that's neat. Like, I'm saying you could meet someone who thinks that same way about love and isn't a Christian, and maybe you would have a great marriage together. I guess they would have to be okay with me raising the kids Christian. It would be sad though to think about it, because if you really did believe in God like the way Christians do, and someone else doesn't, when they die, there's only one place they can go, and that's sad to think about. You know, it depresses me. So I think about some of my friends who aren't saved, people that if they were to die now, you know, they wouldn't go to heaven, and that makes me sad. And I wouldn't want to spend the most time with an individual like my spouse and not have that in common. It's such a big part of my life. So I'm going on a rant right now. I don't know how much you guys even want to hear about this. Human body is weird. It is weird. I don't get cramps though during this time of the month. I'm sorry, women. I am so sorry about that. All that just sounds so painful and inconvenient, and I'm sorry. That's a tough thing. That's a tough thing. Like every girl I've dated, like that's a real thing that I've seen. It's just to deal with, and guys don't deal with that. So I respect that you guys are able to go through that. I respect childbirth. Like holy cow, that is impressive. It's really impressive. That's exactly what I think. You have to find someone who will love you after the honeymoon stage. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better. Cramps equals getting punched 1,000 times. The only thing I've ever had close to that was getting kidney stones. That was terrible. Got it in college, awful. Woke up at 1 a.m., had no clue why. My pain was terrible. Started hyperventilating. That's how I have a high pain threshold, like a really high pain threshold. And I was in more pain than I've ever been in my entire life. Started breathing so fast, I didn't know what was going on. My hands were going numb, and I lost mobility, so I'm like walking around like a worm. It was hilarious, but it was terrifying. And I'm calling 911, and I'm telling them like, you know, what's happening, and I need help. And then they send someone. I don't remember a whole lot. I was in the ER. 5 hours I felt this pain. Worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I think the closest thing to experiencing hell. You wouldn't wish that on your worst enemies. But it eventually passed and everything was great. Haven't had it since. Praise God. You know what's interesting is I actually looked up online. There was this forum, this like website, this forum that talked about the pain, like kidney stones versus pregnancy pain. And there was it was a forum of expecting mothers and pregnant women who were talking about how they were comparing the pain they felt in childbirth to the pain of kidney stones, and they said any day, hands down, they would definitely prefer having another kid than ever getting kidney stones again. They said kidney stones were way worse than childbirth pain. And I was like, I don't know, I was like a little proud of myself. I was like, yo, I went through pain worse than childbirth. But like, again, how do you know that's true? I don't know. It probably differ from person to person. It was interesting to think about. Drink water to avoid kidney stones. I think there's a lot of like different types of stones you can get for different reasons. But yeah, that definitely is true. At least men don't have to go through it. Periods, cramps are the worst. Please do dinner, Josh. Oh, I will. Thank you for reminding me, Debbie. Do you ever want to come to Vietnam and enjoy V-pop? I'd love to, especially if there was like a K-Con, but like VietCon, like a V-Con. I'd love that. Don't want kids because I got scarred watching a birth video when I was in 5th grade. Well, I mean, you say that, and I'm sure that's true, but come on, like, if you're not even thinking about it, you mentioned I might meet the perfect guy. You know, perfect guy. I'm talking like a physical specimen. He's a stud. Like Channing Tatum or Wentworth Miller or who's that guy who plays Dean on Supernatural? I forget his name. Let me look him up. I can't believe I'm forgetting this. Dean from Supernatural. This guy. Jensen Ackles. Like, I'm not gay. I'm about as straight as you can get. But Jensen Ackles, like, I'm thinking that's a man right there. Like, I look up to this guy. Like, look at that man. That's an American man right there. Like, holy cow. Like, if I were gay, boom. But I'm not. But yeah, so like, imagine this guy, you know, and you guys are totally in love, and you get married, you get awesome house, the white picket fence, you know, just perfect life. Picture perfect. Would you have a kid with him? I'm sorry. I just have fun here. We have fun. I'd have a kid with him. I'm just kidding. Oh man, we have fun. How many people are watching me say this right now? 61 people? All right, I can live with that. Only 61 people heard that. Jensen Ackles. Having a different religion doesn't mean anything if you love each other. Me and deceased fiance a different religion. That's great. That's awesome. I think I'm just going to adopt, and Josh, I will never find a guy like him. You say that, but you never know. You never know. See, we attract what we put out. You know, we accept the love that we believe we deserve. We really do. You know, if we don't believe we're deserving of certain love, we're never going to accept it when that comes along. We're just going to reject it. We're going to push them away. We're going to distance ourselves. Like, that happens all the time. You know, it's like life is coming in at all angles, just like completely bombarding you. Life is just coming in on all angles, and we filter out and we just accept what we believe we deserve. Like, if tomorrow you had a different change of thought that you believe that you could date someone like that, the chances of you dating someone like that just skyrocketed just because of that belief change. I'm not one of those fluffy, like, new age people that are like, oh, belief is everything. You just got to believe and everything good will come to you. That's BS. That's bull crap. That couldn't be further from the truth. But I believe it's a mixture between belief and doing. I think it's the starting with the belief and then you work towards it every day. So it's not just the law of attraction that you attract what you believe and you attract whatever. I think it's the law of attraction plus actually doing. Like, for example, when I started my own channel, I had 0 subscribers when I started. But I believed I could do it. I believed that I could, like, I watched a lot of K-pop reactors, and I watched like Dre and MRJ and Courtney Jet. Like, I watched some K-pop, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I could do that. Like, that'd be great. I could do it. So I was like, I already believed I could do it, and then I worked really hard to do it. But, you know, just one of those things wouldn't have gotten me there. It's belief and doing. Josh, do you ever cuss? I do. I like to not do it on my channel, and I try not to do it in general. But I do. If you knew me, like, in person, you would know that sometimes I do cuss, but I try not to. It's usually when it just happens, it slips out. It's not like I'm thinking, oh no, I cuss, now I'm going to hell. Like, it doesn't make sense. But I do try not to. I want a guy like Josh Brown would approve. Well, I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot. You need to do a TED Talk. I'd love to do a TED Talk. That'd be awesome. Gotta go see you guys. I want to date a guy like Josh. It's interesting because, like, there are some misconceptions floating around about men, and there are some misconceptions floating around about women. And I think that there are some very commonly accepted views that women have of men that just completely hold them back. Like thinking the man will do everything. Like who's ever, you don't have to even admit this in the comments, but who's ever believed or thought or had a variation of this thought that if a man doesn't approach me, that's not the type of man that I want to date? Like, who's ever thought that before? Like, let's be honest. I think a lot of us have, and I'm saying us, I would think, obviously it's reversed here, but I'm sure some of y'all women out there have had that thought that if a guy isn't going to approach me or have the balls to approach me, that's not the kind of guy I would want to date. Anyone think that? Anyone think that? Not you? So I've heard that sometimes, and I have to say that I think that that's absolutely crazy. That's crazy. You're out of your mind. And let me explain. Because guys know what they're supposed to do. We grow up watching the movies, seeing TV shows. We get that we're supposed to do something. You know, we get that we're supposed to be the ones to act and the ones to initiate conversation. But 9 out of 10 of us, probably more than that, like 9 out of 10 of us, we wait for the right moment. We're not that guy who's like this cocky, sure of himself, leather jacket football player who walks around and can like aggressively approach any girl he wants to. No, the majority of us, myself included, we wait for the right moment. That's it. You know, and like, and then women will go from guy to guy thinking, why is it I only get the players? Why is it only the people that approach me are these ones that just want to have a one-night stand and nothing else? It's because those are the men who are approaching you. It's those people, it's that 10% who's actually going around and they want just to have a one night stand and nothing more. The type of guy that's actually quality who wants more than that, they're not the ones to be that aggressive, talk to every girl they think of. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying to be easy. I'm saying for the first 5 seconds, be easy. Like, be more inviting. Go approach a guy, talk to him. You know, when you like a guy. It's not the end of the world. It's a little bit of a rant there. Do you like Korea? That's underneath. It looks like Korean picture guy. Korea. Yeah, I guess Korea's okay. What's up, Tiffany? How's it going? Will you ever go to Canada? I've been to Canada. I'd go again. What's up, my sexy cracker? Samuel Boss! What's good? I'm all right. We're just chilling here. I'm actually about to end the stream. I'm glad you popped in, though. It's been a while, man. How you been? I mean, not necessarily that. I do like if a guy does approach me, but if I really like them, I will talk to him. It becomes awkward, then it's hard to talk like before. It can happen. Small talk is awkward. It's awkward to have those conversations with people that you just met. You're just trying to form a relationship out of thin air. It's tough at first. You know, eventually, you know, you get friends with someone, you get to know someone. It's easy to have conversation. You walk up and talk about anything that you've experienced with them so far. Don't come to Wisconsin. Done. But yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna like segue out because I only planned to stream for an hour and ended up being 2 hours. But I really appreciate you guys coming by. Of course, that would happen. I just see a notification for the first 7, too busy watching anime. Respect. Any tips from a new reaction channel? I should make like a video just about that, honestly. I think I could. I need to go eat dinner. You're right. If your coworkers found out YouTube, yeah, they have, and it was a whole thing. It's a whole other story. I'm only 7 weeks into my bar job. It's been so easy to approach and talk to people now. That's awesome. It develops that skill. It's a good skill to have. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. This is so much fun. I wanted to do like a candid live stream with y'all and just like go and do this. Like, it's been so long. You know, I've just been like doing work and YouTube, but like not doing live streams because like the live stream energy has been funneling into my new Gen 180 channel. But I just want to do this. Really glad I could do this. Glad I was able to do this with you guys. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, you guys take it easy. Have a great rest of your week. You know, go to bed early, eat a lot of food, and yeah. I don't know what else to say. I'm terrible at editing live streams. It's been so long since I've live streamed with y'all. How did I normally end it? Did I just do like the typical like, bye? Or did I have like a sequence? I feel like doing a reaction to my old live streams just to figure it out. Thank you, Josh. I had a lot of fun. You should do another one. I'm glad you guys came by. This is a lot of fun. I'm glad we can talk about some touchy, sensitive, polarizing topics. Like we talked about politics, we talked about social issues, we talked about religion, we talked about so many different things that most YouTubers are gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna touch that because that's terrifying to think about. But we talked about it, and I didn't feel like once in the comments people were getting pissed off at each other. I didn't feel like people were getting, you know, disrespectful or name calling. I felt like we were all respectful. How cool was that? Well, learn something new. I figured out that Twitter wasn't popular in Vietnam. That's neat. I didn't know that before. But it's a fun, like conversation, true conversation is how this happens. Nico Nico Ni? What does that mean? Nico Nico Ni. How do you even say that? Am I saying it right? Let me look this up. Nico Nico Ni. Beat Step Remix? That's how I'm gonna end it. You guys have a great week. Peace out.